Okay, good afternoon, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and start this session here. We're just at the tail end of finishing up finals countdown with the Net College Learning Center. We will have the last two sessions will be hosted tomorrow. So just tune in for those ones. It'll be Math 102 and for writing. So those will be the last two sessions for finals countdown. And just let me go ahead and go live here. So we'll be live on Facebook as well. Okay, so right now we're gonna go ahead and start this off. So I'm gonna go ahead and hand it on over to Alexandria.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my presentation today. Alexandria Begayinishya Kinlati Nishla Nashkala Bashichin but Ani Dashachedo Kinlati Nationala Tensades Ahadan A Yesi Nasha. So let me share the screen here. Okay, today's presentation is about unblurring plagiarism. Again, my name is Zandria Begay. I am the professional writing tutor here at Shiprock campus. My email is zanbegay@denetcollege.edu, and also my Connix Ed information is there. http denetcollege.craniumcafe.com/zanbegay. Okay, today we will be talking about plagiarism. Plagiarism is using someone else's idea or words without giving them the proper credit. This is according to Purdue Owl. According to Purdue Owl, plagiarism can range from unintentional to intentional. As an unintentional, we mean forgetting to include a source in the bibliography, reference page, or cite page. They name that reference page in so many different ways. Those are some examples. To intentionally plagiarizing, which means buying a paper online, using another writer's ideas as your own to make your work sound smarter. For example, some of these will happen when a student ends up copying and pasting their information or looking for a test question, like copy and pasting that question and going onto the internet and copying it there. And then these sources come up. So for a couple of them that I know of are Course Hero, Quizlet, or Chegg. If you don't cite them, then you are plagiarizing. And another one, beginner writers and even expert writers alike can all plagiarize. So most likely, anyone and everyone can do it with if they don't credit their source. And a serious charge in academia, so higher education, Internet College, NMHU, ASU, any type of institutional affiliation will give you a serious charge, and also in a professional setting. For example, as I have mentioned before, anyone and everyone, such as a student, a researcher, or even an employee, the consequences as a student can be in failing grades on that assignment or those classes if you do not credit your sources. You can also get on academic probation and even expulsion. And as a researcher, this causes credibility, legal consequences, and other professional consequences. And then as an employee, you can get reprimanded or even lose your job. So according to Purdue Owl helped me a lot with these informations and the challenges of academic writing. They mentioned that they develop a topic based on what has already been said and written, but write something new and original. So these are the challenges. Rely on experts and authorities' opinions, but build upon and or disagree with those opinions.
Can you keep track of Facebook for Alexandria?
Give credit to previous researchers, but make your own significant contributions. Hold on. Okay. Improve your English to fit into a discourse community by building upon what you hear and read, but use your own words and your own voices. Now we will be going into paraphrasing, since we already described what plagiarism is and what the consequences are if you were to commit those. Paraphrasing is one way to use a text in your own writing without directly quoting the source material. When you take detailed information from a source that is not your own words, you need to show where you got that information from. And this is also according to Purdue Owl. A paraphrase is information and ideas expressed by someone else and is presented in a new form. Paraphrasing is one legitimate way when accompanied by accurate documentation to borrow from a source, any type of source, a newspaper, article, journal, any type of information from the internet, which website you have received it from, you have to credit those sources. And then paraphrasing is also a more detailed statement than a summary, which focuses concisely on a single main idea. Again, according to Purdue Owl, paraphrasing is a valuable skill because it helps you write your paper. It is better than quoting information from a distinguished passage. It helps you control the temptation to quote too much. So if you have too much quoting, you're going to have to start paraphrasing instead of using that whole section there. Then the mental process required for successful paraphrasing helps you to grasp the full meaning of the original. And then examples of paraphrasing according to Purdue Owl. They give out a lot of information, so if you would like to go to purdueowl.com, then you can find these there too. So the example that we have here, the original passage reads, students frequently overuse direct quotations in taking notes, and as a result, they overuse quotations in the final research paper. So probably about 10% of your final manuscript should appear as directly quoted matter. Therefore, you should strive to limit the amount of exact transcribing of source materials while taking notes. And this is from James D. Lester, his article called Writing Research Papers. It is the second edition. The publication year is 1976, and they are from pages 46 to 47. So the acceptable summaries that I have brought here for an MLA for in-text formatting, students should take a few notes in direct quotations from sources to help minimize the amount of quoted material in a research paper. So MLA in-text quotations, you only use the last name of the author and then the page number. So here it mentions in the first one, Lester, page 46 to 47. So that is an acceptable summary and quoting your source. And then the bottom one is an APA in-text formatting. Students should take same information, same summary. Students should take just a few notes in direct quotations from sources to help minimize the amount of quoted material in a research paper. So again, it is from the author Lester, the year, the publication year, 1976, and page numbers, page 46 to 47. So you can see the difference here between MLA and APA in-text citations. The top one, the author's last name and page numbers for MLA citations. And then the second one is APA in-text citations with the author's last name, the publication year, and the page numbers. These are other examples of paraphrasing. I got this information off of the resources that we have on DeNayCollege.edu. We have them posted on the My Denae College and then also Blackboard. And then for the students that I have tutored so far, I gave them this information because majority of the students do not know how to do in-text citations. And I've helped them through it, and I made notes in their assignments to let them know how to use in-text citations and where to put it. And then also when that happens, I go to the bibliography page, the cite page, the reference page, what have you, whatever you call it, or whatever professor asks you to write it there. In the reference page, I click Control Find. So when that happens and you're on the reference page, You look for the last name of the person that you are citing. It should show in your reference page and in a certain part of the paper that you are writing. So there should be an in-text citation and a reference on the reference page. So there should be two of them. But if there's only one in the in-text citations or in the reference, then you are doing it wrong. So again, MLA paraphrasing and in-text citation, the author's last name and page numbers. The examples there, the citing situation. So let's go on the first one. Author is not mentioned in the sentence. So for example, he states that a dream is the fulfillment of a wish. So here he is using the quotations. Again, this is a source from Freud, page 154. So instead of writing the whole thing, you just put it in the quotations. And then the second one, author is mentioned in a sentence. So this one, they begin with the author. So Freud states that, and then quotations, a dream is the fulfillment of a wish. So basically, he's just taking part of that sentence and putting it into their own sentence. So this is paraphrasing, and then at the end, put in the page number. So in the third box, we have no author, use first few words from the title of the source. There's a couple of papers that I have received that use articles that come in a PDF form from a website, and they don't know where to find their source. So basically, when you go, say for example, DeNayCollege.edu, they have papers that just go straight to PDF forms, and the best way to find the source for that is DeNayCollege.edu, instead of all of those long words that come along with it and trying to use that to put in your paper. But that website does go at the end of your reference page. But still, yet you would still use the first part, DeNayCollege.edu. And then you would take off only the title of it, and then use that in your in-text citation, like it mentions here for the example of the no author. Random testing for use of steroids by athletes is facing strong oppositions by owners. As I have mentioned before, the title of the source is in quotations. So there it says steroids, and then page 22. The next one, in citing situations, it has two authors. So we're in the fourth box. The example it shows there is psychologists hold that no two children are alike. So this one has two authors, again, Giselle and Demet, page number 68. And then the last example, it says 3 or more authors, use et al., meaning and others in Latin after the first author. So the example it shows there is child psychology is not a field, but it is a difficult one due to the nature of the subjects. So this is more than 3 authors. So you just put in the first author, Rosenberg et al., page 14. Now, if you look at the bottom part, I have APA paraphrasing and in-text citations. Again, always cite your sources. For APA formatting, a lot of the time, students come to me for help with proofreading and editing, and this is also one of the things that I do. I look for formatting and in-text citations, and here is an example for citing situations. And I also want to stress the in-text citations again for this one. We have the author's last name, comma this time. So when you see the difference here between MLA and APA, there's no comma in the MLA in-text citation, but there is in the APA citations. So again, APA in-text citations, you have the author's last name, comma, the year of the publication, comma, and the page number. And one other thing that I also want to bring up is that the period comes after the in-text citations and not before the in-text citation. So it's also a part of your sentence. So again, the period comes after the in-text citations. So when we take a look at the example for the first box, it says author is not mentioned in the sentence. An example here is, he states, quotation, a dream is the fulfillment of a wish. This is by Freud, and then the publication year, 1994, and then page number, page 154. And then if the author is mentioned in a sentence. So you can also begin with the author at the beginning, but you have to follow it with the publication year. So Fruit, 1997, states that quotations, a dream is the fulfillment of a wish, quotations, and page number in parentheses, then the period. So the third one, we have no author and date. Use first few words from the title of source and the ND for no date. Random testing for use of steroids by athletes is facing strong opposition by owners. So again, the title of the source, steroids, and this one has no author, comma, no date, ND, comma, and then page numbers, page 132 to 135, and then the period at the end. In the fourth example, we have two authors. So psychologists hold that no two children are alike. And this is Giselle and Demet, comma, 2001. So this one, if you cannot find a page number, or if it's a reference page, if you cannot find the page number, or if it's a website article and there's no page number on it, you don't have to put in that page number unless it's a journal or another research paper that indicate page numbers. And then also, the last one, we have 3 or more authors using et al. Again, meaning and others, and after first author. So for this one, we have child psychology is not a new field, but it is a difficult one due to the nature of the subjects. So we have Rosenberg et al., comma, 2013. So on the right side, we have direct quotations. Less than 40 words include the quotations in a sentence. So as we have, as I had mentioned before in the previous paragraph, previous PowerPoints, 10% of quotations or paraphrasing quotations can be used in your paper. If any more, then when your professor goes and looks it up, then it usually highlights majority of it, and it tells it where it is all coming from, and it gives them a certain percentage. So in a lot of ways, they can use that as grading. So be careful with these, and always paraphrase and use in-text citations. And this will get highlighted too. So it has been argued that quotations, the advent of doubt, could not but have a major effect on ethical thinking. So Watson, last name, comma, publication year 2005, comma, page number 525, and again the period comes after the paraphrasing, in-text citations. And then more than 40 words includes indentation. So it also emphasized that Voltaire took a great deal of inspiration from the life of Sir Isaac Newton. So right here, he indented during the time that Voltaire spent in England. The most significant episode for him was almost certainly the death of Sir Isaac Newton, ... So you're just taking a tiny bit out of the original passage and putting it here, but also including the in-text citation, Watson's, comma, 2005, page 527. So here are the examples. If you would like more examples, there's also some of them, again, downloaded onto My Internet College or Blackboard. When you go under Learning Center and then under Writing, you will see these in-text citations on MLA formatting or APA formatting. And if you would also like to email me, then I can help you with that too. So part of the presentation that I wanted to bring up, or we are told to bring up, is explaining what unblurring plagiarism is. And then the question that comes up is, when does something stop being plagiarism and start being paraphrasing? So according to Purdue Owl, again, students often use too many direct quotations when they take notes, resulting in too many of them in the final research paper. In fact, probably only about 10% of the final copy should consist of directly quoted material, so it is important to limit the amount of source material copied while taking notes. This is what I have mentioned before. 10% of the final copy should consist of directly quoted material. And then paraphrase from the original passage. This is what you can do. Paraphrase from the original passage and record the source, including the page. Do not forget the page. It goes in your in-text citations, either MLA, APA, and the newest one that I know of is Chicago style. There's not really a template for Chicago style, so you're going to have to research that one if it's required from your professor. Paraphrase from the original passage and record the source, including the page, so that you credit your source if you decide to incorporate the material into your paper. And again, always cite your sources. So as a writing tutor, what I like to do, or how I look for links between the in-text citations and the reference I have mentioned before, is when I go to the reference page, and they should all be in alphabetical order. You go to the first one, you highlight it, or you click Control F to find that name, that last name. And when that comes on, then there should be two. One in your reference page, and then the first one in your as an in-text citation. So that way it credits both ways if you're crediting your sources all the way down through your paper. So again, always cite your sources. And here's my references. From Purdue Writing Lab, it should be no date, but 2021 is about the plagiarism overview. Purdue Writing Lab, this is retrieved from this website. So this is a way of citing your sources. So throughout my presentation, I had dash Purdue Owl. That way I'm citing my sources, and also I'm letting you know as a presenter where my sources are coming from. Are there any questions? No questions? Okay.
Zandria?
Yeah.
Hi, this is LaShania. So this question is kind of hard it's hard to explain, but I think you were revising my paper, and the part where it had two citations at the end of a paragraph, I don't remember if you remember that, but is that something I could do? Like, I was trying to get a paraphrase from one paragraph, but at the end of that sentence it was already cited, and I wanted to use that as well. So do I use two citations, or do I have to like make it into one? How would you put that?
Yes, you can, as long as you are citing your sources, so that way they know where it is coming from. But if it's like a long paragraph or like more than two sentences, then you can just do it after those two sentences. But if it's in quotations, or you can, let me see, there was one where it had mentioned before where you can start with the authors first, and then the parentheses, and then the year, and then that you can start paraphrasing from there, and then at the end put the page number. So yes and no to that question, but I think if you feel like to be more comfortable about it, you would use the in-text citations on both of them, even though it's the same author.
What if it was different authors? Like
different authors, yeah, you would still put that there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
because sometimes.
Oh, go ahead.
Sometimes the publication years are different even though it has like the same author, but then the publication years are different. That one is also there too, because I noticed some papers that were like that. And I was wondering what was going on. I was like, they kept saying this, and here the publication year is different. But if it's two different authors on two different work sites, like I mentioned before, name both of them there. Is that what you're saying, or?
I'm gonna put in the chat box, and then you'll
Okay.
see what I'm talking about. Hold on. I'm probably not making any sense right now.
Okay then. Again, this is my information here. If you would like for me to proofread or edit your assignment, my name is Andrea Begay. Again, I am the professional writing tutor here at the Shiprock campus. My email is zanbegay, XANBEGAY @DeNayCollege.edu. And I always try to keep the lobby open for Conics Ed. You can also write this down and reach me there. http://denaycollege.craniumcafe.com/zanbegay. So thank you guys for being a part of my presentation, and I will get to you, LaShanya.
Okay, thank you, Alexandria, for your presentation. I'm going to go ahead and put the evaluation in the chat room here. Go ahead and fill that out. Make sure it's crucial that you guys submit your survey evaluation to be entered for our raffle, our gift card raffle.
Okay, can I answer a couple of questions really quick? I barely saw the chat box because I was on the shared screen and I didn't want to get out of it.
That's totally fine.
The first question from Luke is this the current edition of APA? This is the 6th edition APA information that I have received that we have and use at the Learning Center. But if your professor is requesting for the 7th edition, we can also update that information and also go by that too. And then LaShanya, American Indians and have unique relationship with the federal government due to historic conflicts and subsequent treaties. Thus, members of the federally recognized tribe receive health services provided by federal government. CDC 2010, Myra. So you have CDC and the author is Myra. Is that what your question is, LaShanya?
Yeah, so where it says American Indians all the way to government. So that one was from the Myra article, but it was cited for CDC. And I was wondering if I could still use that to put into a research paper. That's what I'm trying to get.
Yes, you can, because it's two different sources. Just put a
okay,
comma in between.
So just put a comma. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right. Well, I hope I get a gift card too. Thank you guys for joining.